Good evening, welcome back to the Dugout Football channel and welcome to the World of Football podcast. Yes, we have been away for 2 weeks, but one, because I obviously had the dreaded CV19, and the other one, I just wasn't ready to return. So, we are back, and we're back with a bang tonight. In this 90-minute episode, we will be discussing Barcelona beating Real Madrid 4-0. Absolutely incredible game, that one. Also, we will be starting with, obviously, the big news is that Mike Dean is set to retire as a referee as well. But lots of things to discuss this evening, as Mr. Russell is very, very happy about that. But joining me as usual, Josh will be joining us very shortly, but we are joined by Mr. Nathan Morgan. How are you, Nathan?
I am very well, I cannot speak tonight. I am very well, thank you very much, Doug. Glad to see you're back and better. One of the biggest games in Wales history this week as well. And a nice little send-off for Mike Dean. He has a good reputation for Cardiff fans after completely ruining South Wales derbies and ended up having a shower of coins all over his head. Yeah, that's even the referees feel the pain of the South Wales derby. It's back next week. Thanks for having me on.
That's brilliant. We've also got Mr. Reese Russell as well. How are you, mate?
Is there any point of intros when we've just had the Welsh rant? Is there any point?
Yeah.
Cheers for having me. Cheers for having me. And I'm glad that the brainless, bald, ugly, decrepit, useless wanker of a man who unfortunately had to be someone's child, which is Mike Dean, is retiring. Bless this universe. Oh, I actually am glad to hear those words. Fuck off, man.
I hope he takes Craig Paulson.
Enjoy your Monday, folks, and cheers for joining my show.
Yeah, that was always going to come in. And of course, we're always joined by Mr. George Kell as well. How are you, George?
Yeah, Doug, brilliant to be back, obviously, and glad to see you're obviously better from, as Nathan's already said, obviously from the dreaded the dreaded virus. But yeah, glad to be back. Obviously, in a quite good mood because Man United weren't able to bring it down this weekend. Having the fact that we weren't playing was able to help that out. But yeah, looking forward to it as always, and thank you everyone in the chat for joining us as always as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There have been a few comments here. Elevator and Escalator fan was in. I think he'll probably will be in very shortly. What is about underdogs destroying Giants yesterday? Apart from Palace, Thrash and Everton, that's the only 4-0 I understand. Yeah, I know. Xavi. Yeah, we will be speaking about Xavi. Hello, Adam. Thank you for tuning in. He says Xavi. Hello, Yeti boy. Hello to the lovely Hella as well. Hopefully that John Moss retires soon. Yep. I think he will be retiring very soon as well. Only to be replaced by another twat. I can't believe the recruitment is much better.
Yeah. Who are they going to pick from the Championship? I mean, anyone who's seen any one of my vlogs this season knows that they are all awful. And not just for us as well, because people think I'm tied from Arsenal Fan TV at this point. But for both teams, they just ruin games in the EFL, which is why that's right there.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, there's only one place to start, and it is obviously Mike Dean is retiring as a Premier League referee at the end of the season, but it looks like he might be getting a full-time VAR role, which I'm a little bit skeptical about. Nathan, what is your reaction to this news? Because Mike Dean has refereed 553 Premier League matches. Let me just get this thing George said. He's also shown a record number of yellow cards, 2,026, and red cards, 114, and has awarded the most penalties, 184, in Premier League history since he took charge of his first top-flight match in 2000. Farewell, Mike Dean.
Farewell, Mike Dean, indeed. I mean, he has a reputation among our fan base for obvious reasons. Yeah, actually, I'll go for it for anyone who doesn't understand sort of the history. So you have, the Joe Rolls incident a few years ago where he got sent off for absolutely no reason at all against Tottenham, just showing yellow cards everywhere, offsides, which just, well, weren't even meant to get started on that. And then, of course, the infamous South Wales derby incident as well. Last ever game at Ninian Park. Pretty much in that one, it was just the most hostile thing ever. The Swansea players were just scared to take throw-ins at that point, like Leeds in 0-1 as well. He was making some absolutely stupid decisions in that game. Same with the linesman as well. And then it so happens that coins started flying, and he did get hit with one, which has gone down quite well in history. Quite amazing how he got back into the Premier League after officiating in the Championship for a few of those games as well. But am I happy to see him going? In a way, yes, but at the same time, no. Going to VAR with that absolute shambles, we need someone to make it better, not to make it worse at this point. And then not only that as well, with the state of the Championship referees, as I alluded to earlier, just go watch any one of my videos from this year. It's going to make the standard of refereeing worse, which even with Mike Dean, that should be impossible. Like, how are they going to make it worse?
We are 6 minutes. We are 6 minutes and 30 seconds, and for your viewing pleasure, we do not claim him, but one thing's for sure, we do treasure him.
Absolutely.
I thought he would just retire and just watch his beloved Premier Rovers. That's what I thought he would have done, but obviously not. He seems to be becoming a full-time VAR. Reese, what do you think of Mike Dean? Firstly, retiring, and secondly, potentially becoming a full-time VAR. I think we're all in a little bit of, oh no.
The good news is I'm not going to have grey hairs by the time I'm 40.
Yeah.
The bad news, I'm going to be bald by 27. Though if he's going to be the VAR official, all my hair will be gone due to stress. It's just going to skip the grey stage and just fall out. Like I'm screwed. So I better make the most of this now. I may as well get moisturised. May as well get dyed early. I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Fuck's sake. This guy just go. Like, this guy isn't even a referee. This guy isn't even a referee. This guy is the closest thing to that Heidi Klum for modelling. Like, he's just a diva. He's just a diva of the football world. That's all he wants to be. He wants centre of attention. If there's anything that this man can do that involves a yellow card, a red card, a dodgy decision, this man will go over the heels for it. And it's no coincidence that he's issued more yellow cards than we've had calendar years. Like, that's quite terrifying. Like, so I'm glad that he's fucking off as a referee. I hope his bargain bucket pal John Moss goes with him. But as a VAR official, I'm very scared now, because Stanley Park is already in a shit heap. If he goes there, are you going to rename it to Dean's World? I don't know, but it's going to be so much worse. I agree with Nathan. We are doomed. Just retire. Go watch Antiques Roadshow or Homes Under the Hammer, like Dion Dublin. Just go and do that. Like, stay away from football.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at this, George, because we'll probably see the likes of Andre Mariner, Kevin Friend, Martin Atkinson joining Mike Dean very shortly, because they must be in their 50s. All them refs.
Yeah, I think basically Mike Dean's always been a scream a minute, shall we say, in the fact that you just never quite know what decision he's going to give. There's but the thing is, I feel like in recent years as well, the state of refereeing's got so bad that actually even sort of losing him, and even though he's been one of the main culprits of the terrible refereeing that's a blight on the sport that we all love. The fact is there are so many of these other refs that are shit as well that it's only getting rid of one. It's only getting rid of one of the issues, and then to sort of compound things, him moving into VAR, which is probably an even worse job for him to be doing, because that's sort of almost the overseer that's then supposed to be monitoring other people. It's just a bit laughable. But you're right, obviously, about that all these referees are coming up to a certain age, and I'm not sure how they're going to look to try and replace them. In terms of who whether, as Nathan sort of said, they're going to be promoting from the Championship. And obviously I've been watching Nathan's vlogs religiously as well, so I've seen that every single week there seems to be a dodgy ref there. So I don't really want anything.
Here's a question for you lads, because I think this is something that has to actually be considered by the FA. What should be the maximum age that a referee should be able to referee up to? For me, it should be no older than 50. I know that sounds harsh.
I'd say about 47.
I know it sounds harsh because obviously you can have very fit people over the age of 50 in terms of conditioning and their physical strength and all that, but no disrespect, as you get older, the eye test does weaken. I'm not saying if you're 50 and over, you're automatically going to have poor eyesight, but you are slow for reaction. I think there should be a maximum age where as soon as you hit 50, you should be told that's it, you're done. Go and do something else, like maybe like officiate from the side, maybe or
no,
stay in the same spot, not run up and down like you're like fixed to stay in the same spot. Really, I don't know. Like there should be something there. Like as soon as you go to 50 till 65, from there maybe go and do VAR.
Yeah,
I think that should be considered. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I think linesmen should be even younger, to be honest. Like I remember a couple of weeks back, we actually caught this on camera. The linesman was stood right in front of the ball. It went online and it was that clear in my vlog. You could actually see the ball fully over it as well. Dan had it on camera as well, and he still didn't see it. And yeah, that happened twice within 10 minutes.
That's the weird thing.
Yeah, it's just nuts. And like, I gotta be honest, here's another one as well. Looking at some of the championship referee replacements on top of it, Keith Stroud, I'm sure he's a name that, yeah, he is the worst referee in the EFL by far. That little bomb.
I think we've seen him. I think we've potentially seen him in the Premier League, maybe one or two times. But the name does ring the bell. Actually,
yes,
he's an absolute weapon.
Listen to this, Reese. He's officiated 20 games this season, and he's given out 88 yellow cards.
What is he trying to do? Is he trying to get himself attention at night?
Yep.
Yay boy says the refs in the Europa Conference League are awful as well. To be honest, I haven't watched much of the Europa Conference League.
I don't know. I watched Bodo Glimt versus Celtic, and I thought the officiating was perfect.
Better the devil you know, Nathan. VAR, that frightens me even more. 100%. I think Sky Sports made a YouTube video on Mike Dean's funniest moments, shows how good he is. Yeah, he had a tendency. He was a walking meme for a long time, and probably still is. I
agree with Hel's comments because she said the one country I've been saying this whole time for officiating,
Germany.
Yep, 100%. I've been saying it on this podcast since day one.
Yeah,
German referees in England.
Evening, Jeannie. Thank you for tuning in as always. This is our chance to go buy some quality refs from other leagues: Germany, South America.
Controversial opinion. Sorry, Dave, I'd even say add MLS to that.
MLS?
I don't disagree with that, actually. I was watching even though we got absolutely battered, I was watching the Miami game the other day. We got beat 3-1, and every single decision, the referee got absolutely spot on. Even like fans were going psycho over penalty decisions. I was like, Higuain is finished. I know he scored in this game, but the guy's finished. That's not a penalty, for fuck's sake. All the Miami fans are going psycho, and I'm going there. He's bald, old, and finished.
Around half the Prem refs were born and grew up around the Liverpool, Manchester area. None of them support any of these clubs. I don't think Everton will be affected by biased refs. Nope, absolutely not. In the first leg of the Leicester game, the ref didn't give us anything, but in the second leg, he gave us nearly all of his decisions. It evens itself out at the end of the day, doesn't it? But I mean, obviously we've got the Australian one as well, Jared Gillett. I
know a lot of Championship fans hate him. I don't have much of an issue with him. My only issue with him is, I think the one thing Nathan will agree on is his timing for decisions are very costly. Yeah. I don't think he's a bad referee. I actually think he's a good referee. The problem is his timing, and that does not help as well. That's his only fault, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. But we will move on. We will move on and speak about other things for sure. Ref's been terrible for good 10 years, but now VAR is making them worse, in my opinion. Yeah, but we can discuss about them all day. But, well, who saw this result coming? Real Madrid 0, Barcelona 4. No, do not adjust your screens. That is exactly what happened. Real Madrid going to the Bernabeu and absolutely battering Real Madrid. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang got 2. Ronald Araujo, I think I pronounced that right, and Ferran Torres. And in all honesty, it could have been 7. It could have been 8. Barcelona absolutely dominated that game. Yes, I know Real Madrid were missing Benzema, but
No excuse.
Question marks have to be said about Carlo Ancelotti in this game. Nathan, obviously I have obviously said that this is obviously going to be a roundup, but what has Xavi done to improve this Barcelona side? Have you seen much improvement from this Barcelona side?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. He's brought back the Barcelona way, playing the 4-3-3. Your Ferran Torres on the one side, your Dembele. They've got that striker in Aubameyang, but there and back as well. Coming from Arsenal, he's like a different player, really. Secure in the middle line, bringing through the youngsters as well. Pedri is doing absolutely superb on top of that as well. Yes, using the 5 subs helps a lot too. Their defense, well, their bench is extremely strong as well. And just looking at Real Madrid, Ancelotti, there's something there in there not working. I mean, what was that formation they played? Like 4 up front? What's that all about with Valverde on the wing? Like, that was
weird.
never going to work.
That's absolutely weird. Like this is the team that plays. It was Courtois in goal, Carvajal, Militao, Alaba, and Nacho, and then 2 in midfield, Cruz and Casemiro, and then up front, Rodrigo, Vinicius Junior, Luka Modric, and Federico Valverde. Reece,
No wonder they lost.
Explain.
One thing for sure is Carlo Ancelotti in a 4-2-4 doesn't make sense.
Nope.
Secondly, I can see why he played it. I'm not going to disagree. I can actually see why he's done it, but I think he should have played as a free. I think he should have. This is what I don't understand. Like, why did they not use Gareth Bale? I know he's not great anymore, but in a game like this, if you don't have Karim Benzema, use Gareth Bale as a centre forward. He's done it before.
Do you want to know something, Reece? He actually ruled himself out of that game to get on a plane to come over to Wales early.
That's because he knew he wasn't going to get. That's because he knew he wasn't going to get played. Like, fair enough. I would have used him personally, but like Luka Jovic, like what happened to him? Is he even getting a game? I haven't seen him play for Real Madrid in so long. But I just look at that team and I just look at this Real Madrid team and I don't know where they go from here. I think they're still going to win the league. Like I said it to you guys last night in our group chat. If I was a Sevilla fan, I'd be kicking myself. 3 draws in a row. You had a perfect chance to go and leapfrog. You had a perfect chance to go and leapfrog Real Madrid. And I think if they had won those 3 games and Real Madrid obviously had lost yesterday, if it had been the same result, I think you would be looking at Sevilla top of the league right now. And I just look at it and I'm thinking they've fallen away. I think Barcelona are actually going to go and get second. I actually think Barcelona are going to go and finish second now. I actually think they're going to finish within 5 points of Real Madrid. I think it's going to be that close. I'm not kidding. I just look at it and I think this is far better than the Barcelona team we spoke about 7 months ago, when we looked at their bench and it looked like a sack of shit. Like it's so much stronger. And the one thing I give them credit to is I can see why, obviously, for ourselves, me and George, like we're wanting like Ten Hag to come into Man United. That's our managerial choice. I think Barcelona not getting him, all due respect, is actually paid off. I mean, not that I'm saying that Ten Hag's a bad manager. That's not what I'm saying. I actually think they've actually done the right thing. Originally, I thought it was a bit much for Xavi. I thought it'd be a bit too soon. I think maybe down the line it would have been wiser to get him in. But he's came in and he's got rid of players that shouldn't even be at Barcelona. He's completely dropped them. He's favoured the young players. Brought Dani Alves has been a refreshing thing for him, getting him back in January. His experience at right back. I know he had a few dodgy moments in the league, like the sending off, but his experience is vital. He's playing players in their proper positions. He's given Piqué at least a life again. Jordi Alba looks to be back to his best. Ter Stegen looks like a top 5 goalkeeper again. The midfield is fantastic. And Aubameyang, all credit to him. Aubameyang's playing how he wants to play. He's playing through the middle like a striker. Hold up play. It's giving me Suarez vibes when Suarez joined them in 2014, 15, some of that. He's giving me that sort of vibe. He's playing off the ball really well. And he's got 2 fantastic wingers who are actually shockingly fit, playing well around them. And as Nathan said, it's the Barcelona way. And credit to Xavi. But the one thing I will say, and this is something I stand by, ESPN. I've seen your tweet this morning. Go fuck yourself. Xavi is not one of the best managers in world football. He's not even there yet. Don't do that to him. They did that to Pirlo, and look what happened. Don't do that to Xavi. It's not right. But fair play on last night. Brilliant performance by Barcelona and Xavi.
It was fantastic. It really, really was. One thing that I noticed, George, the name Ousmane Dembele. He seems to have got back into Barcelona's good books, especially when they wanted to flog him in January.
So I was obviously Reece has sort of gone through and sort of all the players, and I think Dembele in particular has been an absolute revelation. And obviously, I was particularly conscious as well that he was very involved in that victory, obviously with all the assists. And I think the new life has been sort of re-energized into him with Aubameyang, because I know that obviously I was reading that they've got this evening as well, that they've got a very close relationship, obviously from their days together at Dortmund. And Aubameyang refers to him as his little brother. So you can, and I think for Dembele, we really saw with his Barcelona career that it was sort of sputtering. I mean, we saw it obviously, as you'll remember, Doug. He missed that glorious chance in that semi-final a couple of years ago when it could have. I mean, I still think even if it had gone to what would it have been then 4-0, whatever. I still think
4-0. Yeah.
I still think Liverpool would have got 5 in the second leg because that's just how shit Barcelona are in, and it's particularly messy as well, obviously, in which we never got to deal with, obviously, in the Champions League again a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, as I said, obviously Dembele, I think it's been that's been a signing. I think Aubameyang in January has been such a good signing for them. Obviously, getting the goals, you need a proven goal scorer like that, and he's been amazing for them. And obviously, again, it's not just the fact that he's been brilliant, but also his relationship with Dembele. And fantastic for Barcelona. Obviously, they've left it slightly late, in terms of actually the league this season. But full credit to them. And obviously, they've got a chance in the Europa League, haven't they, as well? I think obviously it's potentially Rangers, isn't it, in their side of the draw as well, if they both get to the semis. Is that right?
Rangers play the winner of Leipzig
and Atalanta.
It could be a final then for them.
It could be Rangers Barcelona final,
Okay.
Or Rangers West Ham, depending on what happens.
Absolutely. We'll go through some comments and then we'll go through the rest of the. Oopsie daisy, I've just missed one. Jeannie says he predicted 3-3. I don't think anyone would have expected 4-0 Barcelona. Let's just put that. But you think Benzema's the whole squad, the way they were excusing this complete shit show? Yeah, they were terrible at Real Madrid.
Agreed. I saw Real Madrid fans trying to make that excuse. Oh, we didn't have Benzema, that's why we lost. No,
Yeti boy, Klopp never, ever, ever considered doing a 4-2-4. Never ever considered doing a 4-2-4. So no, he didn't.
I'm looking at. Sorry, just don't mean to cut you in there, Doug. But I'm looking at Aubameyang's stats. Right, he's played 7 league games, 7 goals, 1 assist in 444 minutes, and in the Europa League he's got 4 assists, 2 goals in 271 minutes.
Wow. That's very, very good. I'm going to butcher this name anyway. Uruvix, I think that's how you pronounce it. Welcome to the stream. If you are new around here, then do please consider subscribing. He says Kroos and Modric played as strikers in a 4-4-2. Interesting. The one page I'm on, they actually had it as a 4-2-4. So very, very strange. Pedri is ridiculous for a 19-year-old. He looks like a seasoned vet. Yeah, Pedri is absolutely fantastic. Another one to come out of La Masia, and he's playing brilliantly. Dembele to United, Reece, says Genie.
I think he's going to go to Chelsea. I think we'll get Anthony. That's the one I want personally.
Anthony. Then Barcelona want to keep him now, as George said. So for the rest of La Liga, Athletic Club 1, Getafe 1, Alaves 2, Granada 3. Valencia beat 10-man Elche by 1-0. Osasuna won by 3-1 against Levante. Atletico Madrid still on sort of the hunt for the top 2. They won 1-0 away at Rayo Vallecano. They were down to 10 men as well. Angel Correa was sent off, and Koke got the winning goal there. As well. Espanyol beat Mallorca 1-0. Cadiz getting a big win over Villarreal as
huge.
Well, 1-0. That was a big win, actually. Celta Vigo, Real Betis. Celta Vigo, Real Betis was 0-0. Real Betis haven't had a good time of it recently. Got knocked out of the Europa
disappointing
League
result.
to Eintracht Frankfurt, and it was quite a comical own goal. And Claudio Bravo cannot really put himself in too much glory there. Sevilla 0, Real Sociedad 0. Now, we will talk about Sevilla, Reese, because you were absolutely right. They've had 15 draws this season.
And 2 defeats.
Yeah.
Imagine
all those draws are going back to haunt them.
Yeah, imagine 5 of those draws were converted to wins. Like 5 wins, 10 draws. Well, the 5 wins out of 15. From there, if you added that, an extra 15 points, their league position would be so much better. Like they've wasted that so much. This was their perfect opportunity. Because I'll say this now, the way they're going, Lopetegui, I think, has 1 more year before he decides to move on. The way his Sevilla team's played for him in the last 6 months.
Yeah, I know. Especially, obviously, we have to say congratulations to West Ham for putting them out. I thought that was excellent. We will obviously briefly speak about that in a little bit as well. But here's the table. Real Madrid still top on 66 after that absolute hammering by Barcelona. Sevilla are second, but as we said, 12 draws, 15 wins, 12 draws, two defeats, which is absolutely incredible. Barcelona are then third. They have got a better goal difference than Atletico Madrid. They are on 54. Atletico Madrid on 54 as well. So that's the Champions League spot. Europa League spot is at the moment Real Betis. The Europa Conference League is Real Sociedad. I remember Sociedad were like well up there at one point earlier in the season, and they've kind of lost their way a little bit. Villarreal are 7th. That's key. Then come Athletic Club, Valencia, Osasuna, Celta Vigo, Espanyol, Rayo Vallecano, Elche, Getafe, Granada. Cadiz getting a massive win because that's taken them out of the bottom 3. Mallorca,
I think that keeps them up as well, to be honest.
I think it could.
How bad Mallorca have been.
I think it could as well. Mallorca, 18th, Alaves, 19th, and Levante are on 20th. So looking like they could potentially go down.
One of you lads, do me a favour. Check the games between Barcelona and Sevilla this season.
Barcelona and Sevilla?
Yeah, just have a look at their fixtures.
Well, they're run-ins. They're run-ins.
No, just against each other, because La Liga, I'm pretty sure, is not decided on goal differences. Decided
last meeting was Sevilla 1, Barcelona 1.
Yeah, after the international break, Barcelona and Sevilla meet at the Nou Camp.
Whoever wins that is going to finish second, because I'm pretty sure La Liga's
decided on head-to-head. Sevilla after that have got Granada. Barcelona are away to Levante. Barcelona always struggle at Levante, but so did Real Madrid. Levante have been a thorn in their side for a long time. And then Sevilla got Real Madrid. Time to be decided. Barcelona have Cadiz at home as well. Match day 33, Barcelona are away to Real Sociedad, another team that they always seem to struggle against as well. Sevilla. Where are you, Sevilla? They're away to Levante again, Sevilla. And then Barcelona have their game rescheduled against Rayo Vallecano, so that's a game in hand over Sevilla. That could be crucial. Then Sevilla have got Cadiz. Sevilla have got Cadiz, and then Barcelona got Mallorca. You'd expect Barcelona to probably win that one. Barcelona are away to Real Betis again on the 8th of May, and Sevilla have Villarreal. That will not be an easy game, especially with Emery. Sevilla got Mallorca, then Barcelona got Celta Vigo as well. But you'd expect I think Celta Vigo are probably one of those teams that are probably going to be safe.
I think Celta Vigo will actually get a result of Barcelona. They've had a pretty decent record over them in the past couple of years. I think they could steal a win. What's Barcelona and Sevilla's final games of the season?
I'm just going to check that. Second last game, Atletico Madrid have Sevilla. And Getafe have Barcelona. Yeah. And then the final games of the season, Barcelona have got Villarreal and Sevilla have got Athletic Club. So I think Barcelona are going to finish second for me.
Yep, that's what I'm going with. Yep. I think they'll finish at least 3 to 4 points ahead of Sevilla.
Oh, my apologies. I said he was a La Masia product. I did not know that. So Las Palmas, interesting.
I'm sure Nico Gonzalez and Gavi are the Messia ones, but
Yeah,
even so,
Gavi is.
Pedri's all three of them are fantastic.
Yeah,
So
they're
is that
fantastic.
the young Moroccan lad. I can't remember the young Moroccan lad name. He's an attacking midfielder. He came from PSG. I can't remember his name. He's a quality young player.
Bellerin. That's funny. That's funny. João Felix was really good in the Athletico's game. He's starting to find his feet under Simeone. It took him a bit of time, but he seems to be finding his feet, which is always the main thing. Yes, Nadir, absolutely. Ferran Torres is so underrated. Yep, he is. We're in good form. What a win last night, Adam. Yep, you'll be absolutely delighted with that. Ansu Fati will be back by Levante. I think that's massive. Xavi has done a great job. And EBDE. Don't know what that is.
No idea.
Don't know what that is anyway. But we'll move on.
That might be that player, Reese, that you were talking about. Maybe that's his
name.
Abdi. Maybe that's his name.
It might be actually. Hold on, I'm gonna double check right now actually, because if it's who I'm thinking of, he's a young Moroccan lad. He's number 10. They signed from Barcelona. I can't remember his name, but I've watched him a few times, and he's just a really good player. Like the problem is I don't watch a lot of Barcelona to remember his name.
Yes is the answer. It's Abdi.
Abdi is the name of the Moroccan player. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. He's a quality
there we go
player,
indeed.
Honestly.
But I mean, Reece. Obviously, like we've obviously just spoken about this anyway. But Xavi, I think me and you had a good chat about this. We said that it was probably a little bit too soon for him to go into Barcelona, but obviously he's proved us wrong. And I think he was always going to go anyway, especially when Ronald Koeman was sacked, and I think we did say that he was going to be going there. So he's proven. I think he's proven a lot of people wrong by going in there early. And fair play to him. 6 months in, he's clearly done a very, very good job. And they are in the quarterfinals of the Europa League against Eintracht Frankfurt. That will be a cracking game. Eintracht Frankfurt. I watched them against RB Leipzig, and the one thing I can say about our Eintracht Frankfurt is that they lack a goal scorer, and I think they need to get a first leg lead against Barcelona if they've got any chance.
Yeah, I know they lack a goal scorer. I think they sold him to a club. Oh wait, that was Leipzig. Okay, I just had to get that in there for Frankfurt fans. But mind you, we were toothless in front of goal, so I can't really comment.
It wasn't the best game anyway, but it was interesting for a neutral anyway.
Yeah, I'll admit I agree with that criticism of Frankfurt. They do lack goal scorers. They've not had potent goal scorers since they sold Silva, Haller, and Jovic. It's dwindled for them, and it's shocking. Really, the only good thing for them though is they've got a very good defence. I think if they can get a decent counter-attacking opportunity and they convert, they could cause Barcelona problems. But the only thing though is they need to get at least a 2-goal start on Barcelona. I think at least 2 goals.
We will move on, and yet again, I don't know if Jade's here, but
please bring it up.
Monaco 3, PSG 0.
Oh, hallelujah!
Nathan, 5 defeats in the last 6 games for PSG. What the hell is going on there?
We just love to see it. I mean, the fan base are angry. The performances are a shambles. Pochettino, I don't know what it is. Is he out of his depth? Does he know what he's doing? Has he got too many egos in the dressing room? I don't know. But this is the issue I have with PSG. You do not boo your own players when you're still... Let me guess. Are you still first in the league?
But they're still miles ahead. They're like 12 points ahead.
They're 15 points ahead, I think.
Yeah, you do not boo your players or your manager when you're first in the league. I mean, I'm sorry, that is just entitlement. Like, come on. Yes, you can have these odd patches. You can have these odd losses and all that. I mean, Monaco, they're like halfway at the table. You've lost 4 matches this season. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Just this is what grinds my gears about certain clubs, honestly. But yeah, booing Messi, you're lucky to have him in the first place. You're lucky to have that squad. 10, 15 years ago, you hadn't even won La Liga. Like, come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on, this is what I tend to call a sport fan base. I mean, I got a bit of heat on Twitter the other week for calling Swansea a sport fan base because they had a good 10 years. But yeah, this is just off the rails. This is, and you see it with a lot of clubs. I mean, it'd be the same if Man City were booing their players right now, yet they're still top of the league. I think it's completely ridiculous.
Yeah, they're 12 points clear of Marseille. They're 12 points clear of Marseille. And Leicester knocked out a third place team in Rennes. So it just goes to show that actually, the French league is usually won by obviously, PSG. I mean, Lille are sixth at the moment, and I think at one point they were 12th. So, a lot has happened at Lille, but PSG, I mean, Reece,
it could be Leon. It could
be
Leon.
Yeah, Leon. Yeah, Leon are pretty bad as well. But I mean, Pochettino is a front runner to be Manchester United manager. When you look at results like this, and especially the way that PSG have been playing, 5 defeats in the last 6 games in all competitions is very worrying form.
This is why I've said all along that I don't want him. His mentality of managing these types of players, it is extremely worrying. He doesn't seem to grasp it. And whether he likes to admit it or not, football is for egos. Like, whether he wants to like that or not, football is driven by ego. And yeah, exactly. And it doesn't matter, like, what club you manage, you're there to set a standard. And people can say, "Oh, you can't measure a manager against PSG because because the only thing you get judged on is winning the Champions League." Yeah, that's fair, but it doesn't matter. Like, if you go to a club like PSG with all that money to spend, you should be able to control your team. You should be able to control the dressing room. You should be able to handle the responsibility behind the role. If he was at Juventus, he would have been sacked by now, and that says a lot. If he was at Bayern Munich, if it was Bayern Munich, he'd be sacked. If it'd be Real Madrid, he couldn't even fucking last 3 games. He'd be gone. Like, if it had been this sort of run, it'd be good night Vienna. Like, there's something fundamentally wrong in that PSG team, and it's not just the players. It's not just Pochettino. It's Leonardo. It's Khalife, or however the hell you pronounce his name. Like, that club is rotten, and it's equivalent to United right now. It is rotten from top down because there's nobody in there that knows what they're doing, that's going to get things stable for the benefit. And in terms of PSG, I said it controversially last week and I stand by it. PSG would have won a Champions League by now if they stuck with Ancelotti and the team he was building. At least that team had fighters in it. Verratti back then was a fighter. Lavezzi, remember him? He was quality as a left winger, but he was a fighter. Jeremy Menez, Ibrahimovic, fighters. Thiago Silva, fighter. Sirigu, warrior. Silva, like, that was a team. That was warriors. Since then, all they've did is they've just added technical after technical after technical, and I'm fine with that. You can add technical players, but you need to have a little bit of grit and a bit of steel in that team, and they don't have any of that on the pitch as much. They've tried that with Wijnaldum and Idrissa Gueye, and it's not worked. And fundamentally, they've got a manager who, not only is he an ex-PSG player, he's a PSG legend, a club legend by their standards, and even he cannot get the job done. I look at that squad and I'm thinking, this team will never win the Champions League. I'm telling you now, PSG fans, you will never win the Champions League because purely you do not get challenged enough by your own league because you've got too much of a resource. And secondly, in terms of the squad, their mentality is so bad. They bottle it in Europe. They have got such a bad mentality in Europe that they will not win the Champions League. And for Pochettino, like, I don't want him as a Man United manager, but I have to admit, I feel sorry for him. I honestly feel sorry for him.
I have to say that my colleague down to my right-hand side actually predicted PSG to lose 3-1 to Real Madrid. So fair play, George. I mean, you could probably see that coming a mile off, but I mean, I go back to that game and I mean, 1-0 up and you allow Real Madrid go back into the game, which I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen a defender defend as bad as Harry Maguire's as Marquinhos. I thought he was ridiculously bad the other night.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you've all touched on quite a lot of the issues with PSG. I mean, there were lots of leaks as well in the aftermath of that match. You were talking about obviously another Champions League exit. There were lots of revelations and things coming out about how horrible the atmosphere is at PSG and how all the staff hate all the players and all this other stuff. It's just this incredibly toxic club, because obviously all of them are sort of mercenaries that have been hauled in at vast amounts of money, but there's no collective, there's no togetherness whatsoever. I mean, obviously Tuchel came a couple of times, came close obviously with them, but obviously which at the very last hurdle obviously with PSG, but they've obviously with Pochettino, don't want him anywhere near Man United, and I've been quite clear about that for quite a few years, really. I mean, he's been a bottler for his entire career, pretty much. So don't want him anywhere near United. Obviously, at the weekend as well, it's quite telling that we saw, I think it was after the second goal had gone in, there was just Pochettino sitting on the bench, doing a bit like just like completely frozen, doing not saying anything, not trying to make a change or do no in-game management whatsoever. And obviously back to the Champions League match, I think it was just a case of exactly that same thing, where he was sort of a rabbit in the headlights, doing again, not acting to change. You had Ancelotti making cool, calm, and measured decisions to.
I disagree with this statement. I disagree with this comment. I would say that for me, the hardest club in world football to manage is Man United and Real Madrid. Yeah. Real Madrid and Man United, it's the exact same standard. The only difference is that Real Madrid.
If Poch can't handle Pessi, who can he handle?
I mean, the only other thing I was going to say about PSG is that for me, obviously, and again, it just brings back to something that Reece said about sort of the mentalities that they need in there, is that Sergio Ramos, obviously a player that they got in the summer. For me, he was going to be. I mean, obviously, a lot of people would say Messi would be the key to winning the Champions League, which is obviously their holy grail. That's the thing they desperately they desperately want to win.
Ramos.
The French league is such a one-horse race that they can afford to lose, as you said, like 4 and 6, whatever it is, and still be miles clear at the top because there's no competition. But obviously with Ramos, I was just looking at his stats here because I was curious why you guys were talking. And the amount of games he's actually played in, for PSG this season. So he's played in 4 games in the league and 1 in the French Cup. No games in the Champions League whatsoever. So
that's shocking.
Total, his total amount of minutes on the field is 283.
He's been injured so much this season.
He's the one player that you would say, obviously, as we know, he's a sensational winning mentality, and obviously that's what he had for obviously Real Madrid and Spain as well. He's that one player that for me, if they could have kept him fit or somehow got him to play, he's the one player that could have switched that bottling mentality in key moments. And unfortunately, the rest, the players that we've already outlined, years and years worth of just bottling constantly. So yeah, it's a shame for them. And I think Ramos not being fit and not being able to use him has really been poor for them. And I'm not quite sure why they went for Pochettino anyway, because obviously Champions League wise he's terrible and he's an unbelievable bottler. And just the final thing is hopefully we definitely don't get him at United.
Yeah, same. Definitely. I'm going to go in this comment because this is understatement of the year. PSG summer is going to be huge for the future of the club.
100%.
We have to have a PSG squad, right? It's a very old squad. Like you've got apart from obviously like Mbappe and obviously like Neymar, etc. The squad is really old, and they need a big overhaul for me. Does anyone else agree with that? Or
I agree.
There's one thing that I don't understand about PSG. They've spent billions on that club. Like they've spent billions on. Pretty much, they've done what Man City have done. They took inspiration from Man City. They spent all the money on the infrastructure, doing up their stadium, building the club to the core, and they've let's just go and absolutely dominate the league. But they didn't think about expanding on that. They didn't think about, are they going to go and challenge in Europe? And the one thing they always get wrong is, as George has said, those types of players for that. Obviously, I alluded to earlier on, they don't have the winning mentality. George mentioned Ramos. For me, it's more than that. Like, they didn't just spend billions on like the first team and all that. They've spent so much money in their academy. I have never seen a PSG academy graduate actually get into their team and stay there. What is the point what is the point of having your academy? Like, it's actually one of the highest rated academies in not just European football, but world football. I guarantee they could dip in and get any talent out there if they want, put it in their team, and you would see something different. Use it, for fuck's sake. You don't have to. They don't have to spend. They don't have to spend 600 million, which is what they'll probably do anyway. They don't have to spend 600 million on buying like 25 players to regenerate their squad. They could buy 5, 6, or 7, which is normal.
Yeah.
They could buy 5, 6, or 7 and use their academy team. Take inspiration from the clubs you've actually based your money on. Take inspiration from Man City in that manner. Build your team from spot to spot. Use some youth from your academy. Give them a chance. In all due respect, look at your goalkeepers. I love Donnarumma. I love Keylor Navas. But I'm looking at it, and I'm saying this all due respect to PSG. They've got to get rid of one of them, because you can't have both. They're going to end up in a Barcelona situation with Navas and with Ter Stegen and Bravo and all that from years ago. They are going to be in such a big issue that they are going to dwindle, and they can't have that. They need to get rid of one of them.
So, are we saying that Zidane is probably the next PSG manager? Because there's been a lot of rumours potentially about Zidane going to PSG. Nathan, what do you think? Who's going to take the hot seat at PSG?
They love their big names there at PSG. I got a feeling this can be Zidane. I can't see, aside from a French manager, I can't see anyone but him.
No, I don't think it's going to be Zidane personally. I think if he takes it, it's a massive mistake. I honestly think it'd be a massive mistake. I think, with all due respect to Zidane, I think Zidane should hold out for the one job I think he truly wants. I think Zidane should wait for Allegri to leave Juventus. I think that's the job he really wants. I don't think he wants PSG. I honestly think he wants either the Juventus job or the France job. I think I'm going to go on a limb. I think they need something different. I think they've got the money. I think they should look at two managers. I'm probably going to get a lot of abuse in the live chat in a minute, but I think they should look at two men. I think Diego Simeone or Antonio Conte.
Good.
I'm not joking. I think they need something totally different. I think they need somebody who won't just rule the dressing room, but will keep these bosses in check. I think they need someone like that, and I think I've said on a few shows last week I was on, so I was doing reviews for our game when we got humiliated. There's nothing wrong with pragmatism. Like pragmatism can be entertaining if you play it right, and I think they need somebody like I honestly think they need somebody like Conte or Simeone. I'm not joking.
George?
I think it will be Zidane. I think obviously they're obsessed with this Champions League thing, and obviously he's won it multiple times, albeit with prime Ronaldo as well as Modric, Kroos, their own midfield. So it's not, and obviously the Marcelo at left back, probably one of the best left backs of all time. So yeah, I don't think he's. I think as Reece has sort of said, it will be a massive mistake for Zidane to take it, because I think in that team, I don't care which manager they get, they've got no chance. I mean, we all said it, even like at the start of the season as well, when we were sort of predicting who was going to win the Champions League, all of us said that PSG aren't going to win it because same old. No, so it's come to pass. It's like comes today. So yeah, mistake for
PSG Academy. Yeah. PSG Academy is extremely underrated. Some of the players that came through there are great, but they need to give talents more chance in the first team. Yeah, exactly what Reece has said. Exactly what Reece has said.
Their academy is so good. Like I watched them in the youth league. and they're such a good side.
Right. Guys, if you are enjoying the stream, remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. We will speak about something very, very quickly because it did break about 5 o'clock, and it is that the UK and Ireland are reportedly to host the 2028 Euros.
God
What's
almighty.
everyone's thought about this? Because obviously we looked at what happened at the last Euros. It has to be said it was a bit of carnage. I mean, I don't understand why you had to do it in 12 different cities. I do not know why that was. But obviously, Scotland, England, Wales, Republic of Ireland, and Northern Ireland. So, Nathan, you happy with this?
Yes, I am extremely happy with it as well. If it means Wales automatic qualification, then that is perfect by me. I mean, even though we have been. Oh, really? They've changed it.
You'll still have to earn. It's a collective. It's not like England, where England can just automatically get in. You're gonna have to earn it.
I mean, it is a certain of us getting to the Euros nowadays anyway, with sort of what we've got, even though I probably just jinxed it at this point. But yeah, would be great to see some great and also painful. Go on.
The year is 2027. The European qualifiers are underway. The World of Football podcast is in its 6th year, and we've come to the conclusion that Nathan has to eat his words from 6 years before as we got to qualifying, and Wales have failed to qualify for Euro 2028.
Someone's angrily ringing the phone as well, but it brings positives and negatives as well.
Yeah, I know. Why you jinxing us?
Actually, it's his old man ringing as well, so he's probably watching this, and I was like, "What are you doing?" But yeah, going back to it anyway, in sort of a Wales perspective of it, it's great to see that it's being shared around the UK as well, instead of it just being in England and all that, which we don't need. Well, if you watch my channel long enough, you know my exact opinions of football at the Principality Stadium. Absolutely shocking. Terrible ground for football. But the only concern is, for me, they got to use Cardiff City Stadium as a venue as well, which I think is highly likely at this point. But it worries me because I've heard reports that it's going to go up to 46,000 there, which, I mean, we're having problems filling it now, and I know the atmosphere is going to be killed there if they don't. Well, I've heard plans that they want to do like a Dortmund style with a Canton end, but yeah, there's like
it won't work.
Question marks and stuff whether our capacity will go up or not. But yeah. Great to see it coming to the UK though.
Reece, you have big concerns about this.
I am against the whole the UK and Ireland hosting the Euros. I'm against it. I think we were treated badly, Ireland were treated badly, Wales were fucked over, and England had too many games. And every single English game, this is not just England. Every game I watched at Wembley over the Euros was absolutely shocking in terms of atmosphere.
I agree.
It was poorly orchestrated. There was hardly any stewards. Fighting every week. Scotland fans getting blamed when we went down to England, when it was English fans that were causing the problem. We got the blame for it. We actually cleaned your streets, England fans. It's just like, we were genuine enough to get a draw for you, and 2, Jesus Christ. But the only way I see it working is if you host Hampden, Ibrox, and Parkhead host for Scotland. It has to be all three states, the big three.
Yeah.
Ireland, I don't know about their stadiums, but I know the Aviva Stadium's massive. The Aviva Stadium. Yep. The Millennium Stadium's got to hold for Wales, and Wembley. I would say maybe Anfield, Old Trafford, definitely depending on how things go, and depends on other stadiums. Maybe the Tottenham Stadium, I think, has maybe 4.
They can use a maximum of 2 grounds in each city, if anyone's wondering, based on UEFA rules.
That's okay then. It has to be more fluctuated this time. And the one thing I do not want the final at Wembley. I want the final in Cardiff or in Wales. I want the final in Cardiff or in Ireland. I actually want it in those 2 areas, either the Aviva Park or the Millennium Stadium. Whatever it is now. That's where I want the Euros final. But I'm really against it. I would rather the Euros be in Germany, France, or even Spain. I would rather be in there, honestly. And
Or
I
even
stand
actually
by
said
that.
this on my dad's channel a few years ago. Actually more recently than that.
Yeah.
I was saying Scotland, Wales, Ireland, no England.
After the way they
Which would be
after
much
the way they
fairer.
behaved, I don't think many people can argue
I
that
think-
England should
Yeah,
host
I
it.
think
I
the
would even
thing-
say use Murrayfield and maybe to build a bigger venue in northern Scotland.
I think
fairer
the thing with me is about this whole thing is I think Aviva Stadium is fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic
Yeah.
for atmosphere. I mean, obviously we saw the rugby on Saturday, and
Irish fans
obviously
are
big congratulations to France. It has to be said.
Gravy.
Absolutely brilliant. You know, they won their first Grand Slam. I think it's since 2011. I think it was, or 2012. I actually, when you look at that, the atmosphere at the Aviva Stadium is very, very good. You obviously got Windsor Park, Northern Ireland.
the
That's
one.
got a very
Too
good
small.
atmosphere.
That's the only problem. It's too small.
It's too
capacity.
small.
18,000.
Oh, that is small. I suppose if they had the money to invest in it, maybe, I don't know. I suppose if you're going to host a
Josh on that
stadium,
one.
you're going to get money pumped in. If you're hosting an event, you're going to get pumped in. If Northern Ireland's hosting, they have got to pump money at their
Yeah.
capacity.
Yeah.
George, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it was quite unusual actually, because I wasn't even aware that, as you said, I did see, obviously, because I've got the One Football app, I did see that the news had broke, as you said, about 5 o'clock, and I was quite surprised that obviously, it was almost by default, the fact that no other sort of nation or group of nations had actually even gone for it. So it was almost like it was quite surprising for me. So it's quite difficult to sort of absorb the information fully, but yeah, I think it's one of those things where it'll be good for the respective nations, obviously, that are involved. For them to have the football hosted then. But it's so far in the future that it's difficult to know what my thoughts will be. And obviously,
Yeah.
I was it was kind of tongue in cheek really about Dan James being in his prime, but there's no.
We know.
It's all of our teams, all of our national teams will all be so different at that point. Even obviously 5-6 years time. Although I suspect Bale will still be Bale's at 40 where he'll be at that point. So
I just hope that there'll be more stewards this time, and they will have restrictions on the amount of fans in terms in and around the stadium, because what happened at the Euro final was absolutely disgusting. That cannot happen again.
Mind, I've been to Wembley about 4 or 5 times, and I've got to be honest, the stewarding is pretty shocking going in, and just the way that the ground is set up as well. Like, I remember going in when Cardiff played Tottenham back in the Premier League, there was no segregation outside the ground at all. It was like you were attending a neutral venue.
I don't mind
if
it was shocking.
I don't mind
there was
if
a fight
Wembley
outside.
there
was a fight outside. Going back, Cardiff and Tottenham fans were walking in tandem with each other. There were loads of issues going to the stations. Yeah, absolute shambles. Going out.
Right.
I don't mind who hosts it, but I'm honest to God, I hope the final is not held at Wembley, because the way it was hosted.
Oh, me too.
I've got nothing against the thing is though is from my point of view, I'm concerned. I've got nothing against England in that sense. It's just the way it was handled by the English FA, the stewards, the lot. You could have put college students as the stewards, and they would have done a better job.
Yeah.
At least they would get stuck in. The police were they were just a bunch of pussies. I would rather be hosted in Wales or Ireland. Scotland, I don't know. It'd be great to see Hampden, but I think I would rather see in those two nations, because at least I got an excuse to travel.
Yeah, well, I did see that there are a couple of Palace fans in the chat, so we better speak about this. I mean, Everton.
Hi, Josh.
Just shocking. Yeah, hi, Josh.
So I'm currently eating fish and chips because I've had the maddest 60 minutes of my life here. So I do apologize, obviously. Eating dinner, trying to do a podcast and do everything in between, but hope everybody's doing well. And I'm kind of trying to catch up with reality. So please give me a moment to process what the hell's going on.
Guys, we're all scared. I don't know about you, but I'm scared. He was not sitting side on that time. He was sitting front on. I'm well scared.
What is it?
You're sitting front on, not side on. I'm scared.
Because of the apprentice on my other big screen, so I will essentially be.
Nice choice.
Hello,
Nice choice.
hello, Maisie. Thank you very much for tuning in. But yeah, Crystal Palace 4, Everton 0. I mean, Nathan, was it a case of Palace were very, very good, or was it just because Everton were just shocking?
I thought Palace all right, but then again, Palace was just Palace. I thought played some pretty good football, but Everton, where on earth do we start? Completing a shambles. I've been saying it for a while with Everton. That there's just a combination of problems there. That squad is so weak. I think it's one of the weakest Everton squads I think I've ever seen. Going forward, they have
That's
some
the
great
worst
players
Everton
there.
squad I've ever seen.
Oh wow,
It's worse than
Season.
Walters.
100%. I mean, like going forwards, they got some great players, but going back, I mean, let's pop up the team that they had in the last round. 2 seconds. God, I should have been prepared for this, guys. Where's it gone? There we go. That's Boreham Wood. Of course, they would have won that one.
There
we go.
Like, opposition-wise, it wasn't particularly impressive.
I mean, straight up, the 5 at the back didn't work either. Overrunning defense, midfield, I should say, which we saw a lot with Kouyaté pushing forward, Eze, Conor Gallagher as well. Mateta up front was absolutely superb, I thought, as well. Grady took his goal well. But just if you look at that squad, yes, you have Lampard trying to play his 5 at the back, but a defensive Keane, Holgate, and Godfrey altogether is just a recipe for disaster there. Seamus Coleman's no longer at his best. John Joe Kenny, youngster, but I think he needs a championship loan to really develop him as well. Gomez and Decore, I think, is a really, really weak midfield on its own. There's just no structure there. And then you just have Richarlison and Andros Townsend up front with Gordon on the side. And I'm sorry, just that midfield is not strong enough. And no wonder they're having so many issues. And I think they could very well get relegated at this point. It's so likely now.
I'm gonna say this now. If you have a back 3 of Mason Holgate, Michael Keane, and Ben Godfrey, look, Ben Godfrey is a very good defender, but the other 2 are hopeless, absolutely hopeless. Michael Keane is just ridiculously bad. Where the hell are they getting 3-4-3 from? Jeez,
doesn't work.
What happened was Lampard decided, I'm going to go back to the day that I drew with Sheffield United, and I'm just going to run it back, and this time hopefully it works for me.
I've got two things to say. First, Reece, you can say that me face some of the camera scary. You have no hat on, scary, so I will play that game back to you. And second of all,
I have nice hair.
I think Everton made a mistake hiring Frank Lampard. I think Frank Lampard is a young manager, and to bring a young manager who failed at Chelsea and did okay with Derby, well, it was a big risk because he doesn't have the managerial experience or mentality or understanding.
Actually, to be fair, sorry to jump in, Josh. I thought he didn't. Well, looking back at it now in hindsight, he didn't do a good job at all at Derby.
Well, even more to my point, he doesn't have the. He isn't able to make a team ugly and gritty and defensively solid. And even if it's Everton team, you have to make them ugly. You have to get a defensive structure in, and I just don't think Frank Lampard has that ability. I think what they would have been better doing is getting a caretaker manager in, someone who has that experience, has that know-how, keep them up, and then hire Frank Lampard and give Lampard a pre-season and an experience where he's not under that pressure of relegation. But because Everton hired him, Lampard being hired, where he has
a couple weeks ago,
given the situation that Everton are in, I think it's kind of similar to with Chelsea. I do think it's too soon for Frank Lampard. I think he'll keep them up just by the skin of their team. I think there are 3 worst teams in them. But I do think Frank Lampard, if they are to go down, will probably be a good percentage why, because his game management in that FA Cup game yesterday was atrociously bad when they went 1-0 down.
I agree. It was really, really bad. But shout out to 442's magazine, by the way. They predicted Patrick Vieira to be the first manager to be sacked. How's that going? And Palace to be relegated.
To be fair,
Yeah,
I
all
predicted the same.
Did you?
I did, yeah. The thing with Vieira is looking back at his CV and also the transition phase between Roy Hodgson and Vieira as well with the style of football, the squad aging, and also the summer recruitment as well, which I didn't think was strong enough either. With the likes of, well, especially with their defense as well. But I mean, everywhere has excelled. Like bringing in players from the Championship, who I did think were bang average last year, but. Yeah, fair play to Palace and Vieira. He has shocked a lot of people, to be fair.
Yeah, he has, and I think the one thing that's really annoys me slightly, George, is that Conor Gallagher, who's been an absolutely mainstay in this Palace side, is going to be missing the semi-final against Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive loss for Palace. As you said, he's been phenomenal for them. One of the main reasons why Vieira and obviously Palace themselves have had such a good season. Obviously, I didn't think that they would get relegated and quite go that far, but I think we were all quite sceptical of how well Vieira would do at Palace. I don't think any of us really thought he'd be that successful, and particularly as we sort of mentioned with Palace. At that juncture anyway, they had quite an aging squad. I think their sort of average age of their squad was the highest in the Premier League. So it's, when you mix quite an aging squad like that, it's quite difficult to see. With obviously Vieira as well, it's quite difficult to see them being successful. But full credit to him. Obviously, they've had some phenomenal results. Obviously, and then but again, at the same time, you've got to say that although they could have scored even more. The fact is, Everton are just shockingly bad, and obviously Frank is in danger, and so are Everton, because they're starting to become strong favourites now for being relegated, which is unthinkable really for a club of Everton's stature and size.
I'm gonna ask a very, very silly question here. Are Everton the worst team in the Premier League right now?
No.
No.
Norwich is definitely worse.
Not by a small margin.
Speaking about Everton, hello Tom. Hope you're all right. Oi to you.
I'm looking at the game right now, and the stats are like this. Is like the fact that it says 4-0. This game is full. I'm not even joking. This game stats wise is full 50-50. Like pretty much like 52% possession for Palace. Palace had 12 shots to Everton's 11. Sorry, 6 shots on 6 shots on goal from Palace. Shut the fuck up. 2 shots from Everton. 5 corners for Palace. 4 corners for Everton. 2 saves each, but Everton had more fouls. I swear to God, I'm going to kill him. Back in a minute.
Bloody hell, I'm not even sure what that was, but yeah, I mean Everton. I actually said this, Nathan. I don't know about you, but I don't see Everton picking up any more away points this season.
Let me just have a quick look at their running so far, just to confirm that this is right. Not getting anything against Burnley.
Bad.
No, they're going to lose by 3-0 at Turf Moor, I reckon, actually. Liverpool, they're going to get absolutely destroyed. Leicester, they're going to just get destroyed as well. And then Arsenal on the last day of the season. Well, considering how good Arsenal are at the moment, they're going to turn them into complete and utter ready break. But they have got a shocking run in. West Ham lost. Burnley lost. Man United, they're going to lose. Palace, they got to play again. They're going to lose. Probably 4-0 again. Leicester, they're going to lose. Liverpool, they're going to get destroyed. Chelsea, they're going to get destroyed. Leicester, again, they're going to get destroyed. Brentford, they might pick up a point.
No, they won't.
They're going to pick up 1 point. They might even lose
They
all
won't
of them.
pick up any points away from home.
Even at home as well for their last matches, I think they're going to lose them all.
The closest the closest Everton are going to get to taking a point is when it's 0-0 in the 89th minute and then they concede in the 90th.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, they're currently on 25 points, which puts them on 26. That is relegation pointage there. Bearing in mind, it's 40 points usually to stay up.
Hi, Jack.
Here's the key question for Everton. Out of their remaining games, how many clean sheets do you realistically see them getting? Because if they concede, their heads drop. So if they concede, they're pretty much going to lose the game. So how many clean sheets do you see them actually keeping to give themselves even any sort of chance of winning the game?
I'm sticking with this. 1.
Maybe 0. I don't know. It's all about Brentford. That's the only game I can see him keeping something.
Can we get the bevies out for the retirement out from Mike Dean? One less shit ref in the league.
Jack,
Yeah,
it's
but it
actually
brings what? Yeah, but it brings
I-
one from the championship in then, and you know my exact opinions about them.
well, Jack, it's not.
I see Tom's comment right about Everton will show fight and they'll stay up. Yous will stay up, but you've got a manager who doesn't understand the word fight to begin with. I said it in January. He's the right manager at the wrong time. They should have given the job to the end of the season to Duncan Ferguson because it's a siege mentality and he understands what it means because he nearly got relegated as a player. You should have stuck with him and then give it to fuckface. That's what they should have done. But instead, they jumped the gun, they jumped the bullet too early, and they gave it to Lampard. And he doesn't know what he's doing. It's reflected by the fact he's went through multiple systems already, doesn't know his best 11. And I'll go on a limb. He doesn't trust some of these players, and I don't think they trust him either, judging by the way they've played.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for Everton fans, but their owners, their board deserve it for the amount of money they've spent since they got Koeman 7 years ago. They deserve it.
Yeah, definitely. Josh, quite a comfortable win in the end, 2-0 against Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I was considering how Middlesbrough were playing against United at Old Trafford and obviously Spurs at home. I was actually surprised about how well we played. I thought, given the whole debacle about Chelsea wanting to play games behind closed doors and kind of just creating a bit of anger and fight for Middlesbrough, no, that didn't happen. I thought Chelsea were comfortable. Really, really impressed. Ruben off his cheek again. I thought Romelu Lukaku wasn't too bad. Mason Mount definitely best player on the pitch. It was easy enough. I actually think the 600 Chelsea fans completely outsung the whole of Middlesbrough's home crowd as well. So I think Middlesbrough done exceptionally well. And I actually think Chris Wilder, to be fair, Chris Wilder's comments after the game where he pretty much said Chelsea were a rolling machine. They were doing incredibly well. They took on all the nice credits he actually gave us. It's actually nice to hear for once, given all the uncertainty that's coming around us and some of the journalism around us at the moment. So now credit to Chris Wilder for his honesty about Chelsea. And even though there's a lot of on the wind about what's happening with Chelsea and the football club and who's going to be the new owner, at the moment the club is still on the pitch, on the road to success. FA Cup, an FA Cup semi-final, a Champions League quarter-final, which is winnable, as we've seen Real Madrid are not very good, as some people think, never mind how big their La Liga run is. So, Chelsea are, they're a team that's kind of just getting on with it, and we've lost one game in our last 10, and that was the game into Liverpool. So, we're not doing too shabby at the moment.
No, Josh, Jack's asking, what were you going to say before you were interrupted?
No, I was just going to say about the Mike Dean thing. Mike Dean may be gone, but he's actually he's basically retiring off the pitch. He's still going to be a full-time VAR official, so he's still going to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Who can take anyone seriously who eats fish and chips with a knife and fork? Oh dear. Lukaku loves turning up against teams and not in the Prem. Yeah. I think we can all do a better job than all these corrupt refs. Mike, get me Dar to get his boots out. Personally, I think Lampard has come at the right time. He's seen the players that want to play and fight, and at the end of the season, he'll be getting rid of them for sure. Nathan, what's the refs like in the Championship? Even worse.
Watch any Wembley videos this year.
Rewind an hour in 7 minutes to the first 6 minutes of the show, Jack. Trust me.
Yeah. Lampard showing passion just as much as Ferguson was show. Oh fuck, that's just wrecked my night. We'll go for the other FA Cup games very, very quickly. Comfortable in the end for Manchester City. Nathan, 4-1 in the end.
Absolutely. Well, where have I gone again? Maybe just get back to it. Southampton, could you really see them getting anything in this one? Man City, great record down there at St. Mary's. Just standard Man City win, really. We all expect them to go all the way. They took their chances. They played superbly, and that's all I can say about that one, really.
The only thing I'll say about that game is I don't understand why Hassan Hutel started Shane Long and Adam Armstrong up front. Why would you leave Roger and Che Adams on the bench against City in an FA Cup quarter-final home? I just don't understand that.
I was a bit baffled by that, to be honest. The other game was, of course, Nottingham Forest 0, Liverpool 1. Diogo Jota getting the winner And fair play to Forest. I thought they were very, very good. I thought they were very, very compact, and
Should have won.
that was probably our hardest
should've won.
cup game that I can think of this season. I thought Forest were very, very good, and there's a couple of them players that really, really caught my eye. Zinkernagel. Yeah, Jack, I've managed to get that name right now because I kept calling him Zinker on the watch along. Jed Spence have been very impressed with as well.
Yeah,
Joe Worrell as well. I thought he was fantastic at the back. Horvath, the goalkeeper, I thought he was really, really good. It was very interesting.
There's one other name you want to say. Come on.
Yeah.
You want to say his name. Me and George know who it is. Come on. You want to say his name. Come on. He plays in midfield. I know you're a Liverpool fan, but you have to. You have to. Yeah, just because you're a Liverpool fan, you can't hide from the truth.
No, he was good. He was good. Joe Garner.
Worrell's name gives me the fear after what he did a couple of years ago. He was crap up here.
Yeah, George, what did you make of Forest? I thought they held themselves very well against us last night.
They did. Obviously, they had a few opportunities as well, and I think that was obviously the case in both. Just to sort of recap over the games, really, because we know obviously, with the greatest respect to Palace, one of Chelsea, Liverpool, City are going to win this FA Cup. I know Palace will think because that they want to actually finally win some silverware in their entire history. But we know what happened, obviously, back in the FA Cup a few years ago with Alan Pardew. So I don't think So with those three teams, but I think that as a sort of recap of all of them, I think obviously Man City had a lot of chances created against them by Southampton. It was just some really shocking finishing again from Southampton.
Yeah,
where they should have been able to capitalise. And I think also obviously Nottingham Forest had a lot of chances against Liverpool as well. Especially obviously they were in those final closing stages. One of them I actually almost went, I was going mental, to be fair, pretty much. Not Forest to score, but there was one of them in particular where it was just shocking miss, absolute terrible. And I think that's obviously the difference with Chelsea compared to, I think, although the stats don't necessarily bear this out, I think when Chelsea are in form, their defence is so much more solid than Man City's and Liverpool's, just because they obviously, it seems like they don't concede anywhere near as many chances as the other two teams do. And obviously Liverpool again rode their luck to a certain extent. Obviously the one player from Liverpool that I will never give any credit to got the goal, which was the winner. But it's obviously marching on, and a tricky tie obviously for Liverpool and City, both of them. Obviously, that's going to be very, very close, that semi-final. Obviously Chelsea have got the much easier tie you would expect, obviously, against Palace. So
yeah, and whose bright idea was it to be played on Easter weekend, and there are no trains going to London Euston? So
reminds me of a certain fixture the other week in the FA Cup.
So my question is to everybody. I think you've obviously seen. I think everyone's probably seen my tweet. Why not play the semi-finals at neutral grounds and then play the final at Wembley? I think you're losing the sole purpose of going to Wembley. Look, Palace haven't been at Wembley since 2016, so I can give them that for sure. But Liverpool, Man City, play at neutral ground, play at Old Trafford, play at St James's Park.
I'll give you the simple reason why, because I know this recently, because it happens over here in Northern Ireland. In the Irish Cup semi-finals, we play the games at neutral grounds, our team's grounds, and then the final will be held at Windsor Park. The reason being is that for a club to host, for another club to host a game, the FA would have to pay 50%. Would have to pay 50% off the overall game value to the club. So if Old Trafford had Man United, would have to get 50% off the total profit for the game. So the FA are just being basically selfish by basically earning and taking more money and paying less money out to hold the game and holding the games at Wembley, because they would have to pay for stewards, electricity, the food, the hospitality, and so much more. And that's simply why it's not held at Wembley. It is simply down to the fact that the FA just don't want to pay out any money; they just want to receive all the money. Yeah,
I know. It's just it's just really, really annoying when you've got that, knowing that it's because because the thing is for me is that the fans are not going to be able to get to London.
Yep.
So, it'll have to be early bus trips. But Tom agrees with me. What's it, Daisy? Andrew, the Oscars next week. Someone put us.
Yeah.
We will get to that because that is absolutely horrendous. City title and FA Cup hopes to be ruined by Liverpool. Hopefully. But
One of them will be ruined, and it won't be the title, lads.
We shall see. We shall see indeed. But we will come on to the Premier League roundup because included a dramatic win for Leeds United. Wow. When you thought anything could not get anything weirder, we have Leeds United managed by Jesse Marsh. And they got a 3-2 win, but it has to be said, I've seen a ridiculous red card decision in Jimenez. I did not think that was a red card to begin with. Nathan, Leeds, pretty good win in the end, but are they safe yet? That is a question.
Yeah, pretty good win. Bit of a fluke in the end, really. The question is, if that Jimenez red card hadn't have happened, would have it been the same? You never know. Wolves might have gone on to win, and I actually thought Wolves were the better team in that one as well. But yeah, for me, considering Everton, Watford, Burnley, Norwich, and Brentford still exist, well, Brentford have picked things up, but they're still dropping down the table like a stone. We all know about Everton. Yeah, they're not out of it yet. A few more wins, they could be okay, but. Yeah, Jesse Marsh has still got a big job on his hands. And to be honest, if they stay up, I think he'll be the first sack in the next season.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'm going to have to read this out. My dad said, always leave them wanting more. Ironically, that's how he lost his job in disaster relief. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Kim Marsh. Good fight from Leeds, but very lucky. Yeah, they were extremely lucky as well. Josh, Arsenal, looking like they and Spurs are potentially going to potentially be getting top four. If you had to predict who's going to get top four, which one of them would get top four?
I think Arsenal. I think Arsenal probably just have a bit more. With Spurs, they're kind of winning, losing, drawing. I think Arsenal just seem to have a bit more togetherness, a bit more of a philosophy, a bit more of an idea. I think the only issue of Arsenal is their depth. If they maybe pick up a few injuries, especially in the forward position, they could struggle. But they went away to Aston Villa. I thought they did very, very well. I thought they dominated the game. I think Odegaard's been absolutely fantastic. These last few weeks with Spurs, I just think even though they're starting to pick up a bit of run of form, I just think at Spurs they always bottle it, they always fall off, and they actually need to start picking up points, and I just don't see that changing. I did find it funny about Arsenal and Arteta is obviously Arteta complaining about the 12:30 kickoff on Saturday, and saying thank you very much Premier League, or thank you so much for this brilliant occasion. But I think Arsenal will just nick it. I just think Arsenal just look a lot more complete right now, and Spurs have shown how easily they can just bottle things and how they can literally look like an arch from one game to the next. So I think Conte needs a season before we can judge him fully, because it's hard to go in there halfway through and try and install a mentality like Conte's. Well, that's somewhere will be interested, but no, I think I'll still get it. But that does obviously very much keep in mind that they need to make sure to keep players fit. But at the moment, I just don't see where they drop points, and I don't see how Spurs keep winning.
Yeah, that is very, very true. George, I'm going to give you Leicester 2, Brentford 1, because in this game, we saw 3 outstanding goals in this game.
Yeah, all fabulous strikes, as you've mentioned. Really important win, obviously, for Leicester. They're going to be hoping that that's going to springboard them up the table as well, but very little for them to fight for. And obviously, when Josh was sort of talking about top four, that was sort of going to be their aim. I think that when we were all sort of doing the predictions, that was going to be their aim this season. Was we were all thinking with their, I think it was 2 back-to-back 5th place finishes the previous 2 seasons. We were thinking that's where they were going to be, but not quite for this season. I think Jamie Vardy's been injured at a crucial time. I think he's been a big miss at crucial parts of the season. But big win for them, and obviously. quite controversially, I still think I know Brentford have got a lot of points now, but I still don't think that they're out of the woods yet for relegation. It just depends, obviously, because it depends whether Burnley are still going to do what they normally do and somehow manage to to crawl back up the table. But I think Brentford, they still do need a few points, I think, to just be safe, because I still think with Brentford that they've got a bit of fighting to do. And also, what I would say is just a sort of final point. I believe that there's been quite a lot of controversy as well about the plans for this international break. A lot of clubs have, there's quite a contrast between some clubs are obviously doing extra training, extra camps and stuff, and others have given breaks, well-earned breaks. For example, I think Liverpool, Chelsea, City, those sort of teams have all given their players actually well-earned rests. And unfortunately, I think United have also done the same after that. But I think Brentford need to be careful as well, because I think they've also given their players a rest as well. And I still think they're going to be in and around that relegation.
Interesting. I'm glad Reese is with me right now, because I'm going to speak about Spurs, West Ham. Let's just say it was a catastrophic own goal by Kurt Zouma. And the other thing is, for me, is that Son looks like... dear me. Son got hit by a sniper.
I don't know. I've seen some good snipers, and I don't think there's any form of ammunition that could make a player move like that. I mean, I think there was a better explanation. I think he saw his wife and thought she was doing something different, and I think he decided he'll go for a flop and see if he gets any attention. I don't know. It was so bad. I mean,
he's got history for this, hasn't he? Because didn't he get caught by McTominay?
Yeah, he's done it to us. Played dead. The annoying thing is, though, is he's such a likable player.
He's a brilliant player.
He's brilliant. He's likable. He's somebody you would want in your team. But when he does shit like that, I'm like, there's players in this league that have done it before. Ashley Young's done it before. Salah, whether Liverpool fans want to like it or not. Bruno Fernandes has done it. Like, but Son takes it to a whole new level. Like, I don't know what it is about the actions of him. Like, obviously, Zuma, categorically in the wrong net, but it's just so bad that Son had to act this way when it was already 2-1 Spurs at the time. They were already dominating the game. He was nowhere near the ball. Exactly, he was nowhere near the ball, and he's just made look of an arse of himself. And I feel sorry for any fans that there had to watch that. I've obviously Doug's seen the meme that I've sent in our group chat so many times about Kurt Zouma, that the fans took in, which is absolutely funny, but it's just ridiculous that Son's had to do that. There's no need for diving, but there's no need to do it when it's not impacting the game at all. And it's just going to give you a reputation of an arsehole and somebody you don't want, especially if it's somebody that's a likable player. Because if you imagine if that had been like a Ronaldo, or if that had been, I don't know, Lukaku, which is a rare breed anyway, because you're not going to get him off his feet. If that had been Harry Kane, if that had been
Salah, another one.
Yeah, if that had been Salah again, it would be such big media attention, because it's Son. It's very little spoken about, and I don't know what it is, but that really cannot continue. Like this, like blatant cheating like that. There has to be rules set in place now. There has to be rules. Like, it's no longer yellow cards. Just give them a free 4-match ban on the spot. Just get rid of them. Like, it'll teach them. It's either, do you want to play in football or do you want to learn ballet? Like, it'll give you the choice. And if you want to go play ballet, good, on you go. Like, you won't be missed.
Son turned into this pathetic play acting twat. Lost all respect for him.
I certainly don't know why, but it's ridiculous. And I feel sorry for West Ham, because I thought West Ham had a decent game. The only thing, though, is the clinicalness of Spurs. Like, the opportunities they had, they took them. It's just end of the line, really. But if you don't take your chances, you don't win. And Spurs were fantastic. It's just Son's ruined it.
Thursday night football's caught up with West Ham. The amount of energy that they put into that game on Thursday night against Sevilla, it showed they've only got to start in 11. Anything else beyond that drops their level, and I think it really showed there on Sunday how much they don't really have in the tank at the moment.
Yeah, that is very true. Right, Chris, I can see that you're putting in jokes, so let me just give you one. If anyone missed the program last night about tomato sauce, it's on ketchup.
I'll save you from that.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
He actually, that is inmates running the asylum. I love this game.
Jesus, I was not expected for that.
I mean, it could be worse. I mean, I woke up on the left side of the bed this morning, and the right side's never wrong. But what can I say, really? But but come on, his jokes are funny. But Josh, fair play, side view and all, he's went straight for it.
You're not giving me one. Thank you very much. That was funny. But yeah, the Premier League does take a bit of a back seat for the time being. I see that the time is getting a little bit ahead of us, but what I will do is, because we do have a big week of international football, the World Cup qualifiers are back. Yes, the World Cup qualifiers are back. So, Nathan, I'll come to you first, because obviously Wales are playing Austria. Let's be honest. Austria weren't great in our group, were they, Reese?
They were awful. They bottled
Wales should win, but Wales have a lot of injury issues. Danny Ward is out. Yeah. So who's going to play in goal?
It's pretty. From what Rob Page, you still know my opinions about him. From what he's been indicating, it's going to be Wayne Hennessy, a good veteran keeper. He's had over 100 caps for Wales, nearly. And yeah, he does well in international football. Yes, he hasn't been playing as much recently. I believe he's still at Burnley, if that's correct. But he still turns up for Wales. So I don't think it'll be much of. Only because you're a Swansea fan, Andrew. I mean, half of your fans don't even support the national team. Anyway, moving on from that. But yeah, well, go on.
So I just couldn't control the laughter.
But yeah, I safe hands in Danny Ward. But looking at other aspects of the pitch, Bale's lack of club football does concern me as well. Aaron Ramsey's coming into form. Great to see him for such an important game. And yeah, it's just going to depend on what team Rob Page is going to put out. I'd like to see Ruben Colwell play, to be honest, as well. Get some nice playmaking in there too. Don't know why Isaac Davis wasn't called up, really. But yeah, got some great youngsters in there. Fully expect a Wales win in front of a packed Cardiff City Stadium. Bring on Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be very, very interesting game. I mean, Reece, obviously, me and you have obviously seen firsthand that Austria, they're a good side, but they're not great. I mean, they have to rely on Marko Arnautovic, don't they?
Yeah, they've got such good quality in their team, though. They've got no excuse. Like, they've got, in terms of their team, they've got Leimer, they've got Sabitzer. Yeah, they've got Arnautovic, but that's two fantastic midfielders in there. They should be doing so much more. And the fact they didn't just finish behind us in the group, they finished behind Israel. They finished fourth. Austria, the team that you would have expected to Austria, the team you thought would maybe have won our group or be in the top two, but they were awful. They were so bad against us. Home and away, they were pathetic.
They were lucky to get a 2-2 at Hampden. I
agree. We should have won that game, but I just look at it and I'm thinking, yeah, they've done it in the nation. They've done it in this group stage, the pointless group stage. Are they going to go and do better in the knockout round? Maybe, where it matters, potentially, but
that goes to show you haven't watched the Cardiff game in ages, Andrew. And if you think your football's good at the moment, considering your form, yeah, I think you need to get your head checked, because I mean, some of your fans are actually calling Martin out. So yeah, I can only see one problem there.
Oh dear. Right, we'll get.
For your viewing purposes, I was speaking. I don't mind being interrupted when he bitches. But in terms of Austria, like we're like from there, like Austria realistically, all due respect to Nathan, I look at Austria's team. There's far better players in Austria's team, but I question
agree,
the
really.
I question their mindset as a team. I don't think they're gonna do much. I actually think Wales will probably win this like by like a goal or two. Unless Austria turn up as a team. I don't think there's much in it, really. I don't.
Right, we'll do predictions for this one. I'm going to go 2-0 Wales. I just don't see Austria having any threat or anything. So for me, I'm going to go 2-0 Wales. Josh,
Give you 2-0 Wales.
2-0 Wales. Nathan,
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2-0, or maybe 2. Actually, no, I'm gonna go 2-1 Wales. Gareth Bale goal. Actually, no, ignore that. Aaron Ramsey goal with a Ruben Colwill goal off the bench, and then Arnautovic scoring for Austria.
interesting. Reese,
I'm gonna go 3-1 Wales.
oh wow. George,
I'm quite tempted to do something, but what will I do here? Because I'm actually quite tempted to say that Austria are going to pull off a shock.
I was tempted as well, but I'm feeling generous this evening.
Yeah, I'm also, but I also think Austria are going to do something. No, I will give it. I will with reservations though, because I think this is going to be quite close. I think this game is actually quite close.
I agree.
I will say 2-1 Wales, but really in my head I'm thinking Austria, but 2-1 Wales anyway.
2-1 Wales. So
like Austria could win this game. The only thing that really separates them is mentality. They've got a good team, but it's just up here. That's the problem. That's why they were underwhelming in the qualifying. They were underwhelming in the Euros as well.
Italy against North Macedonia. This is going to be a very, very interesting game, this one.
3-0 Italy for me.
Yeah, because the North Macedonia don't have what's his name, Pandev anymore, do they?
No, I don't think so.
I think Italy will win this comfortably. I think it's only a matter of how many. I'm going to go 2-0 Italy.
Wait, who's next?
Josh said 3-0, didn't he?
No, that was me.
Okay. Reese?
6-1 Italy.
Wow.
Christ.
I think Italy will shockingly concede. I think they'll be so flying ahead, and then they'll just take their eyes off some North Macedonian running at them, and they'll be thinking, this is not going to do much. Chiellini or Bonucci's got this, and he just slips past them and scores.
And finally, George, is a full house of Italy wins?
Yeah, 3-1 Italy.
3-1 Italy. This is a tough. Oh Jesus, I can't speak. This is a tough one to call. Sweden against Czech Republic. Obviously, this. I think it all depends if they have Schick, because if they don't have Schick, I think they're in a bit of problem. Sweden, you have to go obviously Alexander Isaac and players like that.
Mm-hmm.
I fancy Sweden. I fancy the Swedes. I'm going to go 2-1 Sweden. Josh?
1 each.
1 each. It will go to extra time because these are obviously one legs.
I think so.
Who's going through?
You flying nugget. Who's going through?
I thought I was reading something when you were saying. I was trying to multitask. What did you say?
Who's going through? Because this game goes to extra time and penalties.
Yes. My bad. Sweden always find a way. They are literally the burning of international football. They always squeeze their way through in the ugliest fashion possible. So I'll go Sweden.
Wow.
Interesting. Nathan?
I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw with Czech Republic sneaking it in extra time to finish 2-1.
When was the last time Sweden missed a World Cup? That's
can't actually remember.
Ooh.
I actually can't remember the last time Sweden failed to qualify for the World Cup. I think it might have been 2014.
I've got a feeling it might have been 2014.
Yeah.
Reese, what are you going for?
To be honest, I like the Swedish team. I like the potential front three they've got: Kulusevski, Isak, Elanga potentially if he gets into the starting lineup, Lindelof at centre back. But and obviously Forsberg as well. But that's where it stops for me. Other than that, I actually think Nathan might be right here. I think Czech Republic might go through. The only thing though is that Czech team hasn't been particularly great for a long time either.
They were disappointing in the qualifiers.
Yeah, this isn't a Czech Republic team that I can look at and think, could you cause an upset? I don't know this. I'm gonna go for the whole game 0-0, and I am going to go. I am going to go Czech Republic to qualify via penalties. I'm going 0-0 the whole game. Czech Republic to win on penalties.
George?
And then Elanga can come home and chill.
1-0 Sweden.
1-0 Sweden. Very, very interesting. Is this a bit of a foregone conclusion? Portugal, Turkey?
Yep. 4-0 Portugal.
Ooh.
4-0 Portugal.
Not with Jota.
Like no, because Turkey is just
I love him. I love this guy.
No, Portugal.
Yeah.
There's an argument for it. Yeah,
I
don't rate Turkey at all.
I think Portugal should go through. I'm gonna go 3-1. 3-1 Portugal. Josh?
I'm going last this time, boys.
Well,
Nathan?
4-0 Portugal.
Oh, Reese?
Oh, I want last privileges.
I will say Portugal 2, Turkey 1.
2-1. Interesting. Someone's echoing.
Yeah,
I don't know what.
It's not me for a change.
Don't think it's me. No, it's not.
That's
No,
fixed.
it's not you.
Oh, it's fixed. That's good. Let's see what some of you are saying. What the hell is this? Nathan should be on the Dugout anti-football channel. Would send.
You don't have a clue, Andrew. Watch a Cardiff game recently.
2-1 Wales says Hella. Andrew Williams says 3-0 Italy and 2-0 Wales. Shane O'Donnell going to agree with me, but 2-1 Sweden. Czech were pretty disappointing in our group. 2-0 Sweden. Lol. Josh's is on the ball as a dead Sweden 1, Czech 2.
Naturally, the Norwegian choice going for Czech Republic.
Hello, Rich. Hope you are good. And hello to Luca as well. Evening, Rich. Never know with both teams. Nope, that's true. Portugal 2-0. Germany 2, Holland 1.
That's not happening, mate. It's not even a game.
Hiya, Rich. Turkey inconsistent to say the least. Yeah. 1-0 Portugal. Hiya, Hella, Andrew. Italy 2, Portugal 1.
I think he's saying if both teams qualify, he's saying Italy will beat Portugal overall.
I think it'll be pretty tight. Nathan, Andrew, verbal jousting matches are always an entertaining part of the podcast.
I agree. So I believe I was deliberately kept for last per my own request.
Yeah.
Portugal 1. Turkey 1 after 90 minutes. Portugal 2. Turkey 2. Into penalties. Turkey on penalties.
Bye Ronaldo then. No,
I'm alright with that. He can come and chill. Nah, I think Portugal win on penalties. I just want to see your face. I just want to see your face. Doug looked like he shat himself. He's like, I'm stuck with constipation.
Germany playing Holland next. Oh, okay.
But it's not
Okay.
really a relevant game, though.
No.
I'm looking forward to that game, though. It's not real. It's not. There's nothing important about it anyway. Germany will,
And obviously,
Germany will pump Holland.
Scotland were meant to be playing Ukraine, but as obviously everybody knows, that game has been moved to June. So it'll be interesting to see what the kind of the mindset are as well. And also Russia against Poland. Poland have been given the bye to the final, so they will face the winners of Sweden or Czech Republic as well. And obviously, I think that would be. We're playing Poland on Thursday, and then I think we're playing the loser of Wales against Austria. So that could be very, very interesting indeed. Scotland got Poland draw, I say. Yeah, I think it'll probably be a draw. Ukraine will be very difficult opposition for both Wales. Yeah. Absolutely,
100%.
they will be.
Yeah, the mental
Absolutely,
factor.
they will be.
The mental fact. I don't want to sound harsh, but I think if they beat Scotland, I think they'll just take sympathy on them. And I don't mean that in disrespect to Ukraine, but the way they are right now, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of teams take them differently.
I don't think
because of what's going on in their country.
Yeah.
I don't think the game will happen.
It'll
Don't you
still
think
have
it'll
to
happen?
happen. They won't give Scotland a bye. They will not give Scotland a bye to that final round to play.
I don't think Ukraine's going to play. I just can't see how to do.
Just very, very quickly, because obviously we do have big games in the African qualifiers. Democratic Republic of Congo against Morocco. I think Morocco for me should go through that one pretty comfortably.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about it.
Cameroon, Algeria. That's a difficult one. I'm going to say Cameroon, though. I think Algeria were terrible in the Africa Cup of Nations, and I think Cameroon were very, very good hosts. So, I'm going to go Cameroon. Josh?
I'll have to bypass my knowledge, and all of these teams are basically second and on. So I'll take a back seat on this one.
Nathan?
Yeah, Cameroon have got this one for me.
Reece?
1-0.
I think Algeria have got a decent. I think the thing about Algeria is they were so bad at AFCON. I think they do have a point to prove. They do have some decent players in their squad, like Boularus, Benaker as examples. My only concern, though, is this is a different. Obviously, I said to you a while ago about Cameroon. This is not the Cameroon of years past where they have a Samuel Eto'o. They have one of the world's best ever players in their team, or great strike. They don't have that, but they've got a very solid team and a team ethic in there that works really hard.
Yeah,
I'm going to go 2-1 Cameroon. I'm in agreement with you lads. I think Cameroon will win, but I don't think it'll be a conceded effort, a clean sheet effort. I think it'll be a concede. I think both teams will concede in this game.
George?
I think Cameroon just. I think obviously in the AFCON, as you sort of mentioned, which was when I was watching them quite consistently, they were very impressive. So I think Cameroon, and obviously Algeria will make it difficult for them, though, obviously. And as Reece has said, they've got some good players, obviously Mahrez as well. So I think it'll be quite a close one. But I think Cameroon should go through it.
Yeah, this was one of the games actually in the AFCON, Mali against Tunisia. I'm actually going to go for the debutants to get back to the World Cup for the first time. I'm going Mali. I'm going to go 2-0 Mali. I think that Mali team, especially with Bissouma, and there's a lot of good players in that Mali side. So Nathan, Mali or Tunisia?
It's going to be a close one, I think, because Tunisia have some good players as well.
Animal Mejbri,
yeah.
Yeah.
1-0 Mali, just. Yeah.
1-0 Mali. Ooh, interesting. I thought you said Mali there. I was like, Reece?
I would like to see Mali at the World Cup. I would like that. I think it'd be great to have something different, but I think Tunisia are going to win this. I'm going for 1-0 Tunisia.
Interesting. George?
I also think Tunisia will be going through, unfortunately. So I'm going to say 2-1 Tunisia.
I think they've got the pedigree as well. That's the important thing.
These last two that are a toss of a coin for me. Ghana, Nigeria, Nathan.
Oh, Desmond's Nigeria sneaking it in extra time.
Race.
I physically can't call this one because I like watching both sides. Both sides for the physicality, the sheer force in their forward players, the aggression in their midfield, and obviously, I don't know about you guys. I know I'm a tall lad. I know Doug's a giant lad, but fuck me, the Nigerians and the Ghanaian centre backs are massive. They would put the fear of God in me. I agree with Nathan on extra time. Fuck. It's so hard to call. You know what?
Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to bring up a game that gave me horror as a child. I'm going to do a Germany-Italy from World Cup 06. I am going to go 0-0 for 90 minutes, and I'm going to go Nigeria to win 2-0 after extra time.
Ooh, that's bold, George.
That game, by the way, that Germany-Italy game was absolutely phenomenal. I remember that very well.
And it was also disgusting by the referee, wanker. I knew either way, one of those nations go to the World Cup. I knew I was going to be ending with a smile anyway. I was just annoyed that it was fucking Italy.
It was quite funny, actually. Just very quickly, a very, very quick aside. There was, I don't know if you saw on Twitter, I was wondering why Yaya Toure was trending, and there was because I can't remember which account it was. They'd put up like 11 flags, and they said obviously pick certain players for each flag, and that's why obviously I think
that's right.
Everyone was picking Toure, and there was another person that obviously there was an Italian centre forward, and obviously they picked Del Piero, who obviously in that specific game was again
destructive.
He was just a magisterial player, unbelievable player. Him. But back to the original question. I've got I think a bit like Reese has sort of spoken about. I've got fondness for both of these sides, both these nations, really. From
I just like them in football.
I've sort of grown up watching them for many, many years. Both of them have had incredible wins in at major tournaments and phenomenal successes for their for what they've sort of overachieved really in respective tournaments in their history. So it's difficult for me, and I kind of want to renege on actually giving an answer, but I will say Nigeria just winning, but it's going to be so close. As you said, Doug, I think it's just a flip of a coin, this one. So,
and oh my goodness me, Salah versus Mane. Yet again, one of these two is going to miss the World Cup. I cannot believe that those two got drawn together. Obviously, Senegal got the Africa Cup of Nations, very, very well deserved. But I've got a feeling that Senegal are going to win again. I think Senegal are going to go through. 1-0 Senegal, I'm going to go. Nathan?
For me, Senegal have got the strongest squad for me as well. They're going to carry on their momentum, and I think they're going to have a good World Cup considering how unlucky they were in 2018. So I'm going to go 2-0 Senegal.
Reese?
I also agree. I think Salah is going home. I think he's 100% going home. Senegal are by far the better team. Koulibaly, Mendy, Sadio Mane is just the three in positions that matter. Like top 5 goalkeeper in world football. One of the best centre backs I've watched growing up, like Koulibaly, phenomenal player. Doesn't get enough credit he deserves. And obviously Mane, even though he plays for you lot, he's still a good player. The only thing though is I just look at Egypt. The way Egypt play throughout the whole tournament is exactly what I expected in AFCON. Solid. They'll take any chance they've got. Get the ball to Salah. My only thing though is I don't like the way Salah plays for Egypt. Playing through the middle. He's cut isolated. He's got no influence. But that's purely because Egypt just don't have a number 9. They have no other choice but to play Salah through the middle. I think bold option for Egypt. If Egypt want to beat Senegal, they have got to put Salah on that right wing. They cannot play him through the middle.
Yeah.
They want to go. If Salah plays on the right, then Egypt have a chance. But knowing that's not going to happen, I am going for the madness. I am going for 3-1 Senegal.
Wow. Oh, that would be a turn up for the books for sure, because obviously Carlos Queiroz is a very defensive-minded manager. George?
Yeah, it's quite tough to call. Obviously, Egypt have got probably my favourite named, obviously as a nickname, favourite named player in world football in El Wench, because who was absolutely phenomenal in the AFCON. Watched Egypt many times during the AFCON, and it was so funny how often he managed to somehow get to the ball, and obviously kept Egypt in it. He was phenomenal. But yeah, I think obviously as the sort of guys in the chat are saying, obviously they're 2-leg ties, but I still think Senegal overall will go through in those over the course of it. Obviously, as Reece has said, they've got so many good players in numerous positions. I will give credit to Mane as well. Obviously, he is a great player despite playing for Liverpool. The only player I'll never give credit to in Liverpool is Jota. So, Senegal, I think will just edge it over the 2 legs.
Josh, can I even get an answer for you about Senegal and Egypt?
I can do Senegal and Egypt. I know a good bit about those two. I think very much to what Reece said. I think Egypt just seem to have maybe just lack a bit in the final third with quality compared to Senegal. And I think when you look at Senegal's defense, and also even obviously Mendy himself as well, it's hard to see how that Egypt lack of a threat in their third line could probably try and hurt that Senegal defense, which I think is quite solid. So I think Senegal will edge it. I'm not going to go as far as Reece and say it's going to be a 3-1. I think it's going to be a cagey 1-0 win for Senegal.
Cagey.
Interesting.
Very, very interesting. Yeah, it is very, very interesting. By the way, guys, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but the draw for the group stage is next Friday.
Oh, wow.
So that is, it's quite early actually. I don't know how they're going to do.
Yeah, how some of the.
I don't know how they're going to do the Scotland, Ukraine, Wales, and Austria path. I don't know how they're going to do it, because that's obviously only one leg, isn't it? So I'm not even going to go through the other nations, but I just thought I would do UEFA and obviously CAF there as well. Guys, it's been another fantastic podcast. We were going to do question times, but considering that we are now 1 hour 57 minutes in, I think it is probably time to end. Thank you to everyone who's obviously watched in the live chat. Thank you to my panel as always. Josh, thank you for coming in as well. What have you got coming up this week?
Well, just the actually not very much. So I was good over here. So I'm just going on a lot of walks. Just to say also with the show next week, obviously because you're not here, Doug. Obviously with it being international weekend, I will be arranging a quiz for next Monday with international football. I will have a quiz arranged. So we will have a quiz night on the World of Football podcast next Monday night in place of international football.
There's only one winner, lads.
Nathan, thank you very much, Nathan. What, you got anything coming up on your channel? Wales vlog, maybe?
Yes, there's quite a few things coming up on mine actually for the next 2 weeks, considering it's international break. Yeah, Wales Austria is definitely going to be on the channel. That'll be out Friday night, unless I end up in a pub straight after. I'll probably be that will be an interesting one when that one's going to get edited. Let's just say. And then as of next week, Wales are playing a charity game for Ukraine. I'm not sure if we're going to be going to that one as of yet due to timings, but we've got to plug this now for anyone wondering. Next Saturday, South Wales Derby vlog. Make sure you watch that one, guys. If the unthinkable happens, then comments will be off, which is an agreement that I've made with someone that whoever loses, comments will be off just so we don't have a repeat of October, really. So
yeah, that's not a problem. Reece, you got anything coming up this week?
I'm actually just about to go in the weekly armchair, so if any of you guys want to pop over there and watch, by all means, I know George is watching now and again. We are actually going to be discussing Man United's managerial hopes, the Paul Mitchell discussion, the lot. Is it going to be Poch? Is it going to be Ten Hag? Could it be any blindside? Is the Rangnick consultancy role just a way to get him in as an interim manager and just completely fuck him over? We're going to be doing that like in just a few moments. My channel, obviously, my YouTube channel that is at nearly 200 subscribers already. Literally, my name as on screen below is. I'll be back tomorrow. Maybe a FIFA stream. Obviously, me and Doug tried that at the weekend, but Doug's internet is like, what's a nice way to compare it? Doug's internet's like Real Madrid's defense. It really is a shocker. But it's still good laughs as always, mate. It's always good laughs. And obviously, I'm back on Twitch this week as well after nearly 2 months. So, literally, for me, weekly armchair. I've got a few things for that as well coming up, and obviously my other my gaming channels. But I am literally just about to go on there. So, if you guys want to come over there, weekly armchair sports talk, big panel lined up. I'm looking forward to that. Thank you for having me as always.
Yeah, and George, thank you very much as always.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. I thought Reese was going to say something, when he was going to make that analogy. I thought he was going to say it was like Harry Maguire. It's slow and it was doing what it wanted, much as Harry did when he decided to, dribble around and try and evade João Felix, in the Champions League match, which was crazy. But yeah, and the very final thing I would like to shout out was obviously Manuel Neuer. Most wins of the player, which I saw obviously earlier today, which was released by the sort of Bundesliga official account. That's just a phenomenal achievement. Legendary keeper, just an amazing player, and congratulations to him. But yeah, as always, been an absolute pleasure. Thank you everyone as always as well in the chat for tuning in. And obviously, if any of you are new here, do remember to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you and good night.
Thank you, everyone. And yes, I will not be here next week, so enjoy the quiz. Should be fab. I'll probably watch. I'll probably watch it sometime on Tuesday at some point anyway. But no, thank you very much for watching. Obviously, with it being an international break, not sure if I'll have much content, but I'll try and maybe do like maybe a preview for the World Cup qualifiers or something like that. Anyway, but until then, it's good night, and we'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.